Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate each and every one of you and hope you're having an absolute amazing day. My name's Hello Good Trades. You may know me as Hello Good Game in the Magic the Gathering area or arena, dare I say. And, just documenting my day to day, right? Yesterday, the market was absolute trash. And whenever the market's bad and we don't see flow, into anything appropriate. It's like the market loves to be irrational, right? So whenever we see that, we get to see pennies run. We get to see China stocks run, which I'm not a fan of, right? Um, so whenever you see this, right, just know that it is an indicator or it signifies that the market at large is not doing so hot. Um, and I think, at the end of the day, it is just a lot of day traders who understand that the market's not great. So they start pushing, super low floats, low market cap, really low daily average stocks. Um, and then because nothing's running, you get it to blip on the radar, and then everybody else attacks it like a shark because they're underfed and overhungry on a slower day. My advice: sit on the sidelines, sit on your hands if you have to. There's no need to participate in elevated risk. So if you're comfortable, that is what it is. Size down. Instead of doing your typical 3%, maybe you're doing 1% risk now instead, right? And then uh, if there is volatility, you can escape it, right, without hurting yourself too much. So um, where did we leave off yesterday? I was like, oh, we're gonna watch MTC, right? You guys remember that yesterday's video? I've been doing this a lot. I've been a bit of a dirty dog about it, but talking about MTC yesterday, somewhere here for you guys, saying, you know what, I like this. We're gonna put it on watch list. We see China pennies running. We hate it, but it is what it is. You can't change the market. It's gonna act how it's gonna act, and if you want to align yourself with it, sure. If not, that's fine. Even if you just want to sit here and learn, that's going to be fantastic as well. So, just a really nice breakout play, right? Like as soon as we see the afternoon, we clear this level, right? The rest is history, right? We get up and then can't even retrace to it, and it's just away we go. A really nice gap fill strategy here as well. Now, this isn't something we always get to talk about. So, this is a rare opportunities. We're always, just doing those news pop recovery plays, right? So this is a gap up, right, in strength. So say you missed your entry here, right? Because we did have a very nice reversal signal, and we're already above our key level with a hold on trend. So, like, really nice here if you were quick on it. But I get that, you might not have been quick because it's just a high risk play, and that's not great. Um, it's kind of like non-confirmation fishing off the bottom, and then the reversal hits so fast that how could you react to that, right? Like it's already you have what 2 bars to get into it, and then maybe a few more until you're actually just at your real entry of a market structure shift, or I guess at this point it's a break of structure, but anyway, that's beside the point. If you missed your good entry, there's a better entry, and not chasing, right? Like this is an entry model that we practice and we can duplicate time and time again. So into strength, we have a gap up, right? The stock halts and then it opens up, right? And then we have to kind of wait for this bar to settle because it could have opened up here and then settled down and then come back up and transfer over, right? So wait for this to close and then you can enter in on the gap. So there's this area to enter, this area to enter, and this area to enter with your stop loss below, right? So any of these would have been groovy. And we're always doing this where we're entering in on the gap, right? We make the gap, and then anytime you enter in, you can get an order filled, and your stop loss is just below the gap. That is a gap fill strategy. And what did you get here? Well, you got an amazing move at 11 to 1 risk reward based off of a controllable entry model. That's really good. And then, it even goes further to a 30 to 1 risk reward, 216%. We've talked about these entry models multiple times for you guys, even highlighting the appropriate stocks beforehand. I think it deserves a like. I think it deserves a watch and a watch tomorrow, and maybe a subscribe. Dare I say? Um, does it mean you have to, jump on anything I say? No, absolutely not. But it's the entry models I need you guys to learn, right? It's the risk management I need you guys to comprehend. And then we can start talking about the themes, what's a good theme, what's a bad theme. And there's a reason we size down on the China stocks, right? Because they're very volatile, not only upwards, but they're also exposed to extreme downs as well. And this is even going higher today, by the way, to what would be a 41 to 1 risk reward. So even though, and that's on guard, that's like, I'm done trading for the month kind of thing. Even though we're chasing it, we're buying much higher than we would typically be comfortable with here. Because there's no entry model here. This is just chasing. And then here, we do hold trend and have the reversal for the model post cool off, right? Because this is all chasing, and we need those EMAs to reverse and settle down, right? And then we can go again for some more. Um, but again, just because your entry isn't optimal doesn't mean that there isn't another entry model for you a little along the way, and then you're still getting a piece of the pie, right? Moving forward, I understand that this is moving, and it may be fascinating because I'm getting excited about it, but um, it's very high risk. And would you look at this? We have another entry model here, right? Right here with a stop below, easy scalp up. Right here with a stop below, easy scalp up. These are live, breakdowns for you guys. And I'm not taking this trade because I'm doing the video now, but it's the exact same entry model that we would have done earlier, over here, right? And that's the importance of learning them, because if you learn the entry model, now you can set your risk appropriately and scalp it up and make some money for once. So I hope that this is a good example of the gap fill strategy for you all. It's something that we've been talking about a little bit in the past videos, but we haven't had the chance to really showcase it, even though we have multiple times before. But it's the commonality of it, right? Like I have the morning reversal signal set all the time, right? Here's another one today. Boom, reversal signal, key level breakout, trend retest. Here's our entry, set our stop, and we go. We are doing this multiple times a day. This I might only get a couple times a week, or maybe like a couple times a month, right? So it's much less common than our just general reversal signal. So that is beautiful to showcase you for today on MTech, and um, get kind of giving HKD vibes. And this kind of ties into the GameStop video where we have Loop Capital as an underwriter in some of these things, definitely involved in his China stocks. We see now that we're in a period where swaps are rolling, and um, we also had HKD pump on high volume, coincidentally on beat earnings when the swaps roll. It's just all very suspect, I guess. So if there were ever a time for a China pump, I think it would be in a period of decreased liquidity, which I kind of think the market is finding itself in. We are in a bit of a retracement here today on SPY, but it looks like we are getting our morning reversal. Can we pair that with a couple key levels, right? If we can hold this reversal, reclaim the 200, reclaim VWAP, and hold base above, then we can go for more, right? So that could be pretty cool. Aside from that, STGW was on the radar today, and this just is a sign of the times. Palantir Technologies and Stagwell joined forces to design product for the future of marketing. You know how much advertising is worth, and marketing in general. So nice headline, and it rips off of this. Plus, it had earnings, a double PR, which is awesome. Very bullish, but it's a freaking fatty, dude. This was like a $1 billion company, now 1.5. From that 450 all to 880. Like typically, companies this large don't move like that. It takes a lot of money to move $1 billion market cap stock like this. However, this is substantial news, and maybe something that we want to look for a reversal signal on for the coming days, right? We'll have to wait and see. I can't make it happen, but if our EMA is reversed and we can pair that with the 200, and maybe move out to the 15 minute or something. Uh, we'll see how it works out here. I don't know. 15 minutes. It's too new for that to really be relevant, I guess. But we want a market structure shift. We're making lower lows, right? We need to start making higher lows, right? And that's what that market structure shift will signify. Maybe we get an order block out of that, and we can kind of swing it up to the 200. If we can clear and base above the 200, then we're looking at swinging it up to maybe this liquidity level here, but also potentially for a VWAP rejection. And dare I say, maybe it breaks through that, and we can all go to London together for new high of day and maybe a multi-day run. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Good news with room, like the stocks got room to move, obviously, and just a massive pullback. And this is looking pretty grim. But if we can get that reversal, then I think we can move forward quite nicely. ASTI had news today as well, teaming up to bring solar solutions to the U.S. space market, which I guess is a thing. I think the U.S. is less concerned about solar and more concerned about oil currently, though. But I don't know. The space, people hear, and it's like you hear these words that attract the imagination, right? Um, Artificial intelligence, robotics, space. They're all very bubbly topics. And they're in the future. A lot of them. AI's kind of come here, and robotics is well on its way. But the space economy isn't quite there yet. Will it be in a decade? Oh, absolutely, sure. Why not? Similar to quantum computing, which has really rolled out in the last couple of years here. But I don't necessarily think it's the time yet, because you've got to remember these companies need to make money, right? Otherwise, they're just an idea, an investment really that's burning capital to kind of achieve its goals. At which point, then they start to sell that to other people, right? But until that happens, could be a bit of a money pit. You know what I mean? So that's chilling. Nothing like today's all just been news pop and just delete, delete. So the algorithms are definitely set to sell, and NUAI. And this is a bit of a bigger one as well, 160 million. Entering into an agreement for 3,500 acres in New Mexico for 7 gigawatt AI data center hub. Woohoo! Marks the first wholly owned development separate from its other venture. So, data centers are massive. We'll see how this develops into the future. I know the United States is looking to try to get those data centers in house, which is good. We should show back. We seen that one company that came out and they're like, "Hey, we're doing data center level AI with like 70% efficiency or something, reducing the power required." What was that? Does anyone remember? Let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna have to go back and look that up. And then Works was our only trade today, which is brutal. But you just gotta follow the volume. There's a gap on the 1 day here that we identified early on in the morning, right? And it's already filled, but it still exists, right? So this is our most recent gap, a void or inefficiency in the liquidity in that level, which try to see it interact with once, and we do get that second interaction with it here today. On the 1 day, maybe a longer term play here potentially. When I go to look at old news, because there is no current news, they are granted 180-day extension to meet the minimum bid, which is $1. So let's get that up there a little bit more, maybe, right? But it failed, and there's a reason that stocks get delisted. There's a reason they can't make their minimum bid requirements, and it's not a good one, right? But we see a couple things here that we really like. In the morning, we have a bearish order block here, which when we invalidate it, and then kind of retest it, we didn't super retest it, but either way, converting it now to a bullish breaker block, which is great. And then we're pairing that with a reversal, with a key level breakout of the 200, with a key level breakout of VWAP, with a retest here on VWAP and kind of the 21, but mostly just VWAP here. Take our entry. I'm a little late on the entry. You can't always get a good fill. This was a quick bar. Like this shot up fast. But we do get our 1-to-1, our 2-to-1, our 3-to-1 if you got to scale out. There's one, two, three opportunities there. They were quick, but the levels are level. If you had your order in ahead of time, it should have filled. And reclaiming the gap on the 1 day, right? So that's kind of our main goal. And yeah, so just like bullish confluence, right, where we have the order block being invalidated, we have our reversal signal, we have entry and hold on not only VWAP but the lower band of the gap. So this is just textbook entry model as far as I'm concerned. Scalp it up, and well, the market does market things and just absolutely crushes it to the ground. I'm still not convinced on the SPY sell-off. Mainstream media pushes it as they will. Um, we're so uh, overinflated as it is on the 1 day that, like, to cry bubble. I don't think it's appropriate. Now I could be wrong. Let's I'll admit defeat. We trace to the 200. I'll say you know what, mainstream media has got it figured out. I'm gonna start listening to them more. But if we don't, if we're just clipping it back up off the 50 here, and we're all making new highs next month, right? So then I just don't want to hear about it, and I'm going to continue to ignore the mainstream media, right? So they're going to make it look as if they are correct to get you to capitulate, and then we're back on with regular programming. So I could be wrong, and specifically if we break down past the 200, then just eating my foot apparently. But I'm gonna stick to my guns for now, and yeah, so that's kind of our market review for the day. Just kind of watching how some of these things unfold. Let me know how you enjoyed and how I can improve this all going forward into the future. Because boy, oh boy, we got a long runway here for you all. So I hope you're enjoying. Take care, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.